Good evening, forecaster Mark Spencer from Ohio News and Weather with your, we'll call your early evening forecast for Friday, January 23rd, 2026. Well, there's a big snowstorm coming. If you haven't heard about it, you're in the right spot. We're going to talk about it. But here comes the big snow tomorrow, late afternoon through Sunday, pretty much. We have the latest snowfall forecast for you as well. If you like snow, you'll like the forecast. If you're not a snow fan, I'll let you know when to shield your eyes, don't worry. And then we have some very cold temperatures, which will yield some very dangerous wind chills as well next week. We'll take a look at our temperature forecast for next week in just a moment. First, where is this snow you're talking about? It hasn't developed yet, actually. This is the beginning of our system. We have this low over here and another low over the Rockies in Colorado, and this is the beginning of our storm right here. This rain here, and then this little bit of snow up here that's developing. All of this is going to start coming together here overnight tonight and into early Saturday. Actually, this area see outlined here by the Storm Prediction Center is talking about an increase in mixed wintry precipitation in the form of sleet and freezing rain. This is all going to start filling in. Actually, Oklahoma may have a historic snowfall, something they haven't seen in a long time, where they could have amounts well over a foot in some spots across the state. They don't get that very often, but it does happen if things come together just right. So this is the start of our system and where it's at right now. Currently out there, it's cold. If you haven't been outside, it's brutal across northern Ohio. Single-digit temperatures, 5 in Sandusky and Toledo, 7 Cleveland, Mansfield, Defiance, and Lima, as well as Youngstown. We're at a paltry 3 in Ashtabula. Central and southern Ohio faring a little bit better, but not a bunch. We're generally low to perhaps mid-teens in some spots. 12 looks to be a pretty common number. A little bit warmer across southeastern Ohio right now, and that's going to be the case. We're going to see some warmer air there even tomorrow and into early Sunday, so we'll take a look at that coming up in just a moment too. Factoring in the wind, it is a bit breezy out there, especially across the northern part of the state, and it's pretty bad. We have wind chills in the negative teens, generally from about -10 to about -15, -16 in Ashtabula. Again, downstate, not quite as bad. Still cold. Don't get me wrong, still cold. A little bit, if you want to call it warmer, where we have less wind across southeastern Ohio as well. So if you're headed out, definitely bundle up. You don't want to spend a ton of time out there, especially if you're in one of these locations where you got wind chills in the negative teens. It does not take long for frostbite and hypothermia to set in. All right, so taking a look at our latest weather alerts, much of the state is under a winter storm warning, and we'll talk about snowfall amounts in a moment. We still have a winter storm watch in effect back here across portions of northwestern Ohio, and the only one not in any sort of winter weather alert is going to be Williams County. The entire state is under a cold weather advisory right now. That's in effect. Williams County, that's the only alert you have going right now. So the Weather Service still trying to, I think, decipher if we're going to winter storm warning or perhaps winter weather advisory up in this area. So that will likely change here sometime this evening or perhaps even early morning on Saturday. You'll have to not mind my date and time. You know, I forgot to change it. These are current. Okay. So also, we'll be updating our snow emergency levels on our website. You can get there on our app as well, or just go right to this website, ohsnowemergency.com, or you can even type in ohiosnowemergency.com, spell it all out, and you'll get there as well. We'll share significant ones on our Facebook page, but definitely give that a check out. And if you haven't downloaded our app, search Ohio News and Weather on the Apple or Google App Stores, and you can download that app for free today and get the latest forecast, track the snow on the radar, and as well as those really cold temperatures, and get the latest alerts right there on your phone. All right, so let's take a look at our future radar here, and we'll track all this snow coming in. It is going to move in pretty much from southwest to northeast for the most part here. Kind of fills in a little bit different depending on the model. This particular model kind of has a brief break in it, but much of that talk and suggestion is pretty much about gone. I think we'll continue to see that as future model runs come in, some of that filling in. So in the motion here, there's our snow Saturday night, early Sunday, all day Sunday, Sunday night, early Monday, and we're still going to see some wraparound moisture and perhaps some lake effect there across portions of northern Ohio through the day on Monday as well. And that will add up to a little bit more accumulation. Looking here across southeastern Ohio, you can see how close that line of all snow to either sleet or some freezing rain typically what happens is we'll see warm air kind of win out more than the models show in this region. So we are still maintaining a risk for some mixed precipitation for at least a few hours across the mid-Ohio Valley there. That could be sleet or freezing rain. Could see some light ice, but you'll have snow first. So you're going to have kind of the winter wedding cake, if you will, a layer of snow, some ice or sleet in the middle, and another layer of snow on top of that. That's no fun to move, so definitely be careful. It definitely makes things a lot heavier. But there will be a period of heavy snow on Sunday somewhere across the state, and that could produce snowfall rates in excess of 1 inch an hour. A lot of this will fall at least a ½ inch an hour, so snow will add up pretty quickly through the day on Sunday. I do not advise any travel. All right, here's our timing and onset Saturday evening into early Sunday, generally 4 to 7 p.m. across much of southern and south central Ohio. Much of the state generally 7 to 11 p.m. Now, I kind of left this up here, 10 to 12 for northwestern Ohio, the Toledo area, the Defiance area. It's going to take a little bit more time to work into there, but you'll generally fall into this 7 to 11 time frame, depending on exactly where you're at. And then pretty much northeastern Ohio is about midnight to as late as 3 a.m. as you get up towards the Pennsylvania line, but I think a lot of it will probably fill in a little bit before that. So that's our timing. We'll post this on our Facebook page a little bit later for you to look at as well. Okay, how much snow are we getting? Well, we came out yesterday with 10 to 14 inches, and some of you guys just freaked out about that to the point to where we had people calling us wrong. Okay, well, guess what? There's a lot of support for 10 to 14 inches, and I've seen other forecasts with 10 to 14 inches as well. So it's kind of hard to say we're wrong. As you get down towards far southern Ohio, 8 to 10, again, that's with the mixed precip in there as well. This could work up right along the river. It's really, really hard to draw that on a map, so it just doesn't quite work out very well. But right along the river could be slightly less, especially if we get that mixed precip for a few hours. Up into northwestern Ohio, we do cut off pretty quick, 8 to 10, Toledo to about Defiance, and then 6 to 8 there. That's Williams County, guys. And this is why we don't have any sort of winter weather alert there right now. I think they're still debating how quick that falls, whether they can go winter storm warning or winter weather advisory, because that criteria is a little bit different for the Weather Service. My personal opinion, they'll probably issue a winter weather advisory at some point. Travel's not recommended. So if you have to travel Sunday, yeah, boy, really, really take your time and use caution. Otherwise, I'd delay travel. It will be windy at times. The snow's going to blow around. It is going to drift. We'll see some very low visibilities at times. So that is going to affect travel, but also affect, kind of where snow piles up as well. Power outages are certainly a possibility in a few spots, but we're not expecting widespread power outages, thank goodness. Our snowfall forecast is sponsored by our partner, Amplex Internet. Okay, so next thing we're going to look at here is temperatures, because if the snow wasn't bad enough, we're not warming up anytime soon. We're stuck here, at least through February 1st. Very cold temperatures. We're talking below 0, single digits, low teens. Maybe we'll get a day or two here where we get into the low, maybe mid-20s. But with this snowpack in place, it's going to keep things cold. Overnight temperatures could very well drop below freezing nearly every night. There's a couple of places where we get real cold. That'll correct a little bit, but we're still going to stay cold. Maybe it's not below 0. Maybe it's low single digits instead. But it's still going to stay cold, and we are going to remain kind of locked in this real cold pattern at least into early February right now. So don't expect a big change or any warm up anytime soon. It's cold. Look, across the entire east, even down to the Gulf, it's cold, and it's not going to get much better. So it's hard to escape it unless you go somewhere that is generally tropical. All right, your forecast for tonight is also a cold one. We're going to clear out across a good part of the state, and then we're going to see clouds begin to increase across southern Ohio closer to daybreak. Temperatures overnight, northern Ohio will be below 0, anywhere from about 4 to -6 or so. Elsewhere will be in the low single digits, basically, with a few, below 0 temperatures here and there as well. Winds do die down. They'll be out of the north, so we'll have wind chills anywhere from about -5 to -15, especially early. It's still going to be cold. So if you're headed out this evening, definitely bundle up. Don't hang around outside too long. Our forecast rate is sponsored by our sponsor, Northwest Ohio Broadband. Thank you very much. All right, and for your day on Saturday, well, it's going to snow. Your daily forecast brought to you by our partner Canopy Management. Generally cloudy across northern Ohio. The morning will probably start out with some sun. We'll begin to cloud over by late morning, I believe. That could change a little bit depending on where you're at too. So you might get lucky, have a little bit more sun. That's great. Snow will begin to fill in from south to north through the late afternoon. Again, 4 to about 7 for southern Ohio, and a little bit later as we get north. And then we'll have snow for tomorrow night for sure. It's not going to be very warm. We're talking about single digits northern Ohio, maybe to about 10 in Mansfield. And then we have low teens more or less across central Ohio, and maybe some, we'll call it mid-teens across southeastern Ohio. It's not going to be very warm out there. So again, if you're headed out, bundle up. And if you do need to travel with the snow, use extra caution, but we strongly suggest that you just delay travel if at all possible. Be sure to stick with us on all of our social media pages for the latest on our winter storm. And yeah, definitely check out our app if you haven't downloaded that. We'll be trying to push out as much as we can through that as well. In the meantime, stay warm, stay safe, have a good evening.